The hall was silent, not the peaceful kind of silence. It was the heavy silence that came before panic. Hundreds of humans sat behind the glass wall. Scientists, soldiers, elders. All of them watched the children standing in the center of the chamber. The children were humanity's last hope. Earth was gone. The oceans were dead. The sky was poisoned. Humans survived only because other races allowed them to live in space colonies. But survival was not enough anymore. Humans could no longer raise their own children. Their bodies were weak. Radiation had damaged their future. Many women could no longer give birth. Many men could no longer protect. So the council created the choosing. Alien races offered mothers, strong bodies, safe worlds, long lifespans. Each child could choose one. Most people believed the choice was obvious. The soft-winged Illyrians were gentle and kind. The crystal-skinned Vora never aged. The oceanic Cellari could heal wounds with touch. And then there were the giantesses. They were tall as towers. Their skin was dark and stone-like. Their voices sounded like thunder. They were built for war. And worse, they were infertile. Their species had not given birth in centuries. No human expected the children to look at them. At the far end of the hall stood one giantess. Her name was Kayla. She did not move. She did not smile. She did not hope. She had been forced to stand there by her leaders, not as a real option, but as a warning. This is what strength without life looks like. The lights shifted. The choosing began. One by one, the children stepped forward. The first child was a small girl. Her hair was thin. Her eyes were tired. She walked past the Illyrians, past the Vora, past the Cellari. She stopped in front of Kayla. Gasps filled the hall. The child placed her hand on the cold floor. "I choose her," the girl said. The translators echoed her words. The council froze. "That is not allowed," an elder said. "She cannot be a mother." The girl looked up. "She is big," the girl said simply. "She will keep us safe." The second child walked forward. Then the third. Then the fourth. Every single child walked to Kayla. No one chose anyone else. The panic came fast. Scientists shouted. Soldiers reached for weapons. Alien delegates stood in disbelief. Kayla's people roared in anger. "This is a mistake," one of them said. "She cannot carry life. She is broken." Kayla felt the word cut deeper than any blade. Broken. She had heard it her whole life. She looked down at the children. They were small, fragile. Some were sick. Some were shaking. Yet none of them stepped away. A human commander slammed his fist on the table. "You are choosing death," he shouted at the children. One boy stepped forward. His voice was calm. "We are already dying," he said. Silence returned. The boy continued. "We do not need birth," he said. "We need a mother." Kayla's breath stopped. She had never been called that. Not once. Her leaders moved to pull her away. But the children grabbed her fingers. Their hands were warm. Her body reacted in a way she did not understand. The sensors on the walls flickered. A scientist looked at his screen. "That is not possible," he whispered. Kayla felt something deep inside her chest. Not pain, not fear, something waking up. She looked at the human children again. For the first time in centuries, the infertile giantess felt alive. And somewhere deep in the systems of the station, a dormant protocol activated. A single word appeared on a forgotten screen. Activation. Kayla stood alone in the medical chamber. The room was too small for her body. The ceiling lights reflected on her stone-like skin. Cold machines floated around her, scanning, blinking, whispering. She did not like this place. She never liked being tested. For centuries, her kind had been studied, measured, judged, always for the same reason. They could not give life. Kayla closed her eyes as the scanners moved closer. She felt the memory return. The day she was told she was infertile. She was still young then. Strong. Proud. The elders had spoken without emotion. "You are complete in strength," they said, "but empty in purpose." From that day, Kayla became a weapon, not a future. Outside the chamber, humans argued. "This is dangerous," a scientist said. "The children should be removed." "They chose her," a human elder replied. "We cannot break that trust." A soldier crossed his arms. "What if she loses control?" No one answered. Inside the chamber, Kayla heard soft footsteps. The door opened. The children walked in. The guards tried to stop them, but Kayla lifted one hand. They froze. The children did not fear her. They sat on the floor near her feet. One child looked up. "Are you in pain?" he asked. Kayla hesitated. "No," she said slowly. "I do not feel pain easily." The child nodded. "That is good," he said. "Pain makes mothers tired." Her chest tightened. She did not understand why. Another child touched her finger. It was warm, so small. Kayla had crushed steel with these hands. Now she was afraid to move. "Why did you choose me?" Kayla asked. The children looked at each other. A girl spoke. "Because you stayed," she said. Kayla frowned. "Stayed?" All others smiled. The girl said. "They promised safety. They promised comfort." The girl pointed at Kayla. "You did not promise anything." Kayla remained silent. "You looked lonely," the girl added. Something deep inside Kayla shifted. Machines around her began to hum louder. Outside, alarms flickered. A scientist stared at his screen. "Her biosignals are changing," he said. "That should not happen." Kayla felt heat spread through her body. Not burning, not sickness. It felt like motion, like something opening after a long sleep. She stepped back. "What is happening to me?" she asked. The children stood. "We don't know," the boy said. "But it feels right." Kayla's leaders stormed into the chamber. "This ends now," one roared. "She is not made for this." Kayla turned. Her voice shook the walls. "Enough," she said. The leaders froze. They had never heard fear in her voice before. "She belongs to us," the leader said. Kayla looked down at the children again. For the first time, she did not feel owned. "She belongs to herself," Kayla said. Security weapons powered up. Human soldiers moved in. The air grew tense. Then, one of the children collapsed. Kayla caught him instantly. Too fast for the cameras. She held the child close. His breathing was weak. Kayla felt panic. Real panic. "Help him," she demanded. Doctors rushed forward. Scans lit up. Radiation damage. Genetic decay. "This child should not be alive," a doctor whispered. Kayla felt something answer inside her. A deep pulse. The child's breathing slowed, then steadied. The machines went wild. "What did you do?" a scientist shouted. Kayla looked at her hands. "I don't know," she said. The system AI activated. Its voice filled the chamber. Unknown biological interaction detected. Another pause. Dormant systems responding. Kayla looked around. The children smiled. Outside the station, distant sensors picked up a signal. Old. Human. Buried deep in forgotten data. A program written long ago. For a future no one believed would come. On a hidden screen, one sentence appeared. Human adaptability protocol confirmed. And Kayla realized something terrifying. The children were not changing to survive her. She was changing to survive them. The station went into lockdown. Red lights flashed across the walls. Alarms echoed through every corridor. Kayla still held the child in her arms. He was breathing now. Slow. Stable. That should not have been possible. Doctors stepped back. "This breaks every medical rule," one whispered. Kayla looked down at the boy. He slept peacefully, like nothing was wrong. But Kayla felt it. Something inside her had changed. Not on the surface. Deep. Very deep. The system AI spoke again. "Warning," it said. "Biological anomaly expanding." Human scientists rushed to their consoles. "This is not healing," one said. "This is adaptation." A military officer turned. "Explain," he demanded. The scientist swallowed. "The children's DNA, it reacts to danger," he said. "It doesn't resist change. It causes change." Kayla listened quietly. Her body felt heavy, warm, alive in a way she had never known. Her people gathered on the other side of the chamber. Angry. Afraid. "This is corruption," one giantess leader said. "Humans are rewriting her." Kayla lifted her head. "Then why does it feel like I am waking up?" she asked. No one answered. Suddenly the walls shook. A deep impact. Then another. External defense alarms activated. "Incoming hostile vessels," the AI announced. "Unknown ships. Fussed. Black. Unmarked." The station commander cursed. "Raiders," he said. "They hunt weak colonies." Kayla's leaders stepped back. "This is not our war," they said. Human soldiers rushed to position. They were outnumbered, outgunned. Kayla felt fear rise around her. The children felt it too. They gathered closer to her legs. "Stay behind me," Kayla said without thinking. She did not know why she said it, but it felt right. The first explosion hit the outer ring. Metal screamed. Air vents ruptured. Kayla moved, faster than ever before. She placed herself between the children and the blast doors. Her skin hardened, not like stone, like something new. Energy weapons tore through the hall. They struck Kayla's back. She did not fall. Instead, the impact spread through her body. Flowed, redirected. The attackers paused. "That should have killed her," one raider said over open comms. Kayla turned. Her eyes glowed faintly, not with rage, with purpose. She charged. The floor cracked under her feet. She tore through the invaders like a storm. But something strange happened. She was not just fighting. She was protecting. Each time a child screamed, she moved faster. Each time fear rose, her strength grew. A human officer watched in shock. "She's sinking with them," he said. Emotionally, the AI interrupted. "Correction," it said. "She is evolving." The final raider fell. Silence followed. Smoke filled the hall. Kayla stood still, breathing heavily. Her body trembled. Not from damage, from change. She staggered. Human soldiers rushed forward. "Clear the area," the commander shouted. Kayla dropped to one knee. Pain finally reached her. Her leaders stared in horror. "What have you become?" one whispered. Kayla looked at her hands. They were glowing faintly. Veins of light moved beneath her skin. "I don't know," she said. The children gathered around her again. One placed his hand on her chest. Her heart responded. It changed rhythm. Machine screamed. "This is impossible," a scientist shouted. "She has no reproductive systems." The AI paused, then spoke slowly. "Correction," it said. "New systems forming." Everyone froze. Kayla's eyes widened. "What does that mean?" she asked. The AI answered. "Subject Kayla is not developing offspring." Pause. "She is becoming an incubator." The room went silent. An incubator, not for giantesses, not for humans, but for something new. Kayla felt it then. A presence. Not inside her body, inside her future. The children looked up at her, smiling, trusting. Kayla realized the truth. She was never meant to give birth the old way. She was meant to protect humanity's next step. And somewhere far beyond the station, other races noticed the signal. A new force had appeared, one born not from conquest, but from choice. The medical chamber was silent. No alarms, no shouting, only the soft hum of machines and Kayla's slow breathing. She lay on the reinforced platform, her massive body glowing with faint lines of light. The children stood behind the glass wall, watching her, afraid, hopeful, confused. Kayla opened her eyes. She did not feel weak. She felt full. Doctors surrounded the screens, reading data they did not understand. "This cannot be pregnancy," one said. "There is no womb." Another shook his head, then explained this. The scan showed something forming inside Kayla. Not flesh, not bone, energy and structure, growing in patterns no one had ever seen. The station AI spoke again. "Clarification," it said. "Subject Kayla is not creating life." Pause. "She is creating conditions for life." A human scientist stepped back. "You mean?" he whispered. "Yes," the AI replied. "She is an incubator." Kayla slowly sat up. "An incubator for what?" she asked. The AI hesitated. Unknown. That word frightened everyone. Kayla's leaders entered the chamber. Their faces were hard. "This must stop," one said. "You are becoming a threat." Kayla looked at them calmly. "I was always a weapon to you," she said. "Now I'm something else." The leader pointed at the scans. "This will destroy balance." Kayla's voice grew firm. "Balance already destroyed humanity," she said. The leader raised his hand. Guards stepped forward. The children pressed their hands to the glass. "Stop," one child cried. Kayla stood. The platform cracked under her weight. Energy pulsed through the room. The guards froze, not because Kayla attacked, but because they could not move. The air itself resisted them. The AI spoke again. "Warning, it said. Kayla is generating a protective field. Kayla looked surprised. I did not command that, she said. The children smiled. You didn't need to, the boy said. Suddenly, the light inside Kayla brightened. The machine screamed. Energy spike, the doctor shouted. Kayla grabbed the edge of the platform. Pain hit her for the first time. Real pain. She cried out. The children screamed. Human medics rushed forward. Hold on, one said. Whatever this is, it's reaching completion. Kayla felt something open inside her. Not like birth, like release. A wave of light burst from her body. Soft, warm. The room filled with glowing shapes. Small, floating. Not babies, not machines. Something between. The light slowly faded. When it cleared, the shapes fell gently to the floor. Children, but not human. Not giantess. They were taller than humans. Stronger. Their skin shimmered faintly. Their eyes were calm, aware. The room froze. A scientist whispered, they're alive. The AI confirmed. New hybrid life forms detected. Kayla dropped to her knees. Exhausted, the children ran to her. She held them and the new beings together. They're beautiful, she whispered. A human elder stepped forward. What are they? He asked. Kayla looked up. They are the future, she said. Her leaders backed away in fear. This changes everything, one said. Across the station, communication channels exploded. Other alien races had detected the energy burst. Messages flooded in. Fear, warnings, threats. One message stood out. Humanity has evolved beyond containment. Kayla heard it. She stood tall again. I did not create weapons, she said softly. I created family. The hybrid children opened their eyes. They looked at Kayla, and then at the human children. They smiled. The AI spoke one final sentence. Conclusion, it said. Humans did not choose a mother. Pause. They chose evolution. And far beyond the station, the galaxy began to prepare. Because something ancient had changed. Not through war, not through force, but through love. The station was no longer quiet. But it was not chaos either. It was awe. Humans stood in silence as they watched the new children move. They walked with calm steps. Their eyes showed understanding far beyond their age. They were not afraid. The hybrid children stayed close to Kayla. To them, she was not strange. She was home. Kayla knelt before them. For the first time in her life, she felt tired. But it was a good tired. A human elder stepped forward. What we call you now? He asked gently. Kayla thought for a moment. She looked at the children, then at the humans. I'm their mother, she said. No one argued. The giantess leaders gathered at a distance. Their voices were low. This breaks every law of nature, one said. Kayla turned to face them. No, she replied calmly. It reveals one. The human scientists worked day and night. They studied the hybrid children. But the more they studied, the less they understood. The children grew fast. They learned faster. They showed strength like giantesses, but empathy like humans. One scientist finally said the truth. We cannot control them. A general looked worried. Should we be afraid? The scientist shook his head. They are not born from fear, he said. They are born from trust. Outside the station, alien fleets gathered. They demanded answers. They demanded limits. They demanded surrender. Kayla stood before the council chamber. The children stood behind her, both human and hybrid. A message played across every channel. Humanity has crossed a line. Kayla raised her hand, and the room went still. You watch humans suffer, she said. You watch them break. You thought weakness meant the end. Her voice echoed through space. But humans adapt, she continued. They always have. She turned to the human children. They chose me not because I am strong, she said. They chose me because I stayed. She placed her hand over her chest. Strength without care is empty. The alien leaders were silent. Kayla spoke again. You fear what you do not control, she said. But this future does not belong to you. The hybrid children stepped forward. One of them spoke. Their voice was soft, but it carried across the chamber. We will protect humanity, the child said. And we will protect you too. That was the moment fear turned into shame. The fleets slowly pulled back. Not because they were defeated, but because they understood. The station returned to peace. Time passed. Umans Rabuil. Not with walls, but with connection. Kayla walked through the gardens of the station. Children ran beside her, laughing, living. She was no longer called infertile. She was no longer called a weapon. She was called Mother. The human elder watched her from afar. "We thought humans would survive by force," he said. Another elder replied softly. "No," he said. "They survive by choosing love." Kayla looked up at the stars. She felt the universe watching, waiting. She was not afraid. For the first time in history, humanity was not alone. Not because they were protected, but because they had changed others. And as the lights of the station faded into the dark of space, one truth remained clear. Humans were never meant to rule through power. They were meant to inspire it.